Hey guys, welcome to Deep Cuts. We made it back for episode number 2. Yay!
Episode 2.
This is so worth celebrating because if you understood exactly how complicated just sitting down to make a video is in our household, like you would definitely empathize with us. But anyways,
utter chaos.
Like utter chaos all the time. So we're back with episode number 2, and we were talking and we thought that it was befitting to kind of take you guys on a journey. We mentioned a journey before, but then we were thinking about topics. We were kind of like all over the place, and we may get back there too, depending on the type of questions that we get. So one of the questions that we actually received, and is often mistaken, is Jarian and Mike's paternity. Okay, so I wanted to bring that up because one of the things that I found funny when we first met, if you go back to the first video, one of the first questions that he asked was, how many kids do you have?
Yeah.
So
that was I mean, being 22 years old, you start talking to somebody, you just want to know, because it ain't because of like, I'm not finna judge you because you got kids, but this factors to think into play. Number one is the baby daddy. That's like the main thing you think like.
I got a baby daddy.
You finna be in a relationship with this person and they got the father to their kid. You know that baby daddy, he be thinking he have certain entitlements. You know what I'm saying? He can always come around because his kid there. He might be able to, you know what I'm saying, do a little, you know what I'm saying, a little closeness with the baby mama, because it's this saying amongst me and my homeboys, like, you can always go back and hit your baby mama. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Really? So you think if we divorce, you can always smash?
But we've been together for a long time. That's different. I do think I'd be able to go back and get that thing. But the thing about it is, the man always, you know, in the very, very beginning, it's like, I'm not gonna have to deal with this dude. You know what I'm saying? That can be irritating. That can be stressful. You don't want to go into a relationship where it ain't what kind of baby daddy it is. You know what I'm saying? So I asked that question. But another thing is, of course, you might have to be around this kid. You know what I'm saying? And that's you be impressionable upon these children. You know what I'm saying? So you got to children. So so you got to see if that's something that you're willing to deal with. So that's like one of the main reasons I asked that. Jarian being on my YouTube channel for all those years and stuff like that, people thought that he was literally my biological son because we never said it. I would just call him, you know. You didn't actually
make that announcement until we got pregnant with Harley. Yeah. And it was so funny to see people like, y'all, look, you and your son look just like. And I'm like, you actually don't. You still get that from time to time today. You know what I'm saying? Just like, that's it. You know, but so long story short, of course, I had a kid. When I met Mike, Jarian was 4. Me and my son's father had been together since we were teenagers. Baby daddy. Like, I met him, I think we started talking like 13, way too young. You know what I'm saying?
I was 13? I thought I was 15.
He was, but I was only 13.
Did he know that?
Yeah, like.
You knew your age?
Maybe I lied.
I was just saying, I don't feel like we had a conversation, but I don't want to tell you being it. No.
I told him I was 14. Okay. But nonetheless, our families actually knew each other. You know what I'm saying? And so even though we went to school together too, our families knew each other. And so it was almost like a little trusted bond there from the beginning. And so by the time...
And you was real close to his family.
Yeah, I was real close to his family. Still is very much to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like they actually are family.
They good people.
They really are. He and I, on the other hand, we on the outs right now, but generally, he alright. But by the time
it's been some situations.
Yeah, it's been some
I don't know if we won't get into all that.
Situations. I mean, we here to help. You know what I'm saying?
Let's just go with the natural flow from the beginning.
Right. So by the time I met Mike, Jarian was 4. And his father was in prison and had been for a while. And so he wasn't a factor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I took Jarian to see him from time to time or whatever. Really didn't want my baby to grow up with that image or those memories or whatever. So it was kind of whatever. But more importantly for me, even though Mike was worried about a kid, I was not ready to introduce my child to anybody. Like I had to keep him safe. I don't know about these relationships, where they're going to go. I need to know a lot about you first. But first and foremost, you don't need to know anything about my baby, but other than the fact that I got something.
How long was he in prison when we met? Like 2 years ago?
For 2 years.
Yeah. So you had mentally, relationship wise, and like I said, that could be a whole other story, because it is a whole other story. Had you already separated yourself from him and like, you know, I'm single, I'm gonna be by myself, I'm not gonna wait type thing?
I had already separated myself from him before he got locked up. Jail. Okay. Like that was honestly just my permission to move forward, because
it gave you more space.
It gave me more space. It gave me what I needed to move forward, because it was like
good.
Burning, toxic. Like toxic. It was horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like way too much at very fast paced. So
it's amazing how many years has went by since then, because you've been with me longer. We've been with each other longer than any. We're almost half of our lives.
Exactly.
Point, you know what I'm saying? So that it seems so old.
Yeah.
And we were so young. You know what I'm saying? Almost like it don't count, that part of your life, because you're so young.
I know. I feel like to a certain extent, when I look back on some of that stuff, I be thinking like I would think about the pressure that I used to put on him, because of the love that I wasn't getting at home. You know what I'm saying? Like I had all these grandiose plans, and when I think about it, I'm like, I was a freaking baby.
You was a kid.
Like, what was I doing?
A child.
And then it's funny too how you be like, oh, this is the love of my life. And some people have that reality. Some people met they childhood sweetheart and they was together forever.
Some people do.
But I'm just so happy that God like sees things differently. You know what I'm saying? Because if I had what I wanted, I don't know where I would be right now. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought that's what I wanted.
Y'all was way too young to even be serious like that.
We was too young to be serious. We was too young to be making a baby. We was too young to
Y'all was too young for a lot of stuff. And like even for a lot of stuff that you kind of, I mean, he did it. He did bad stuff, but he was so young and immature. He
shouldn't have. Nobody should have been.
He shouldn't have had no expectations at that age.
Exactly. So going back to the kid though, I had been a single parent for 4 years and I was killing it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Like I worked hard. I like I said before, I was driven and ambitious. But nobody up until that point really had been around my kid, because I felt the need to protect him. And
yeah, just turned 4 when we met.
And we met in the end of July, and he turned 4 in July 7th. Yep. So he's 25 now, believe it or not. But with his own kid.
His own kid. That's crazy.
But so I won't even lie. When he said that, I thought it was funny, but I was taken aback, because I was thinking to myself, okay, like what kind of, first and foremost, do you have kids? But clearly, based off of his tone, it was obvious that he didn't. And then I was just like,
it wasn't obvious.
It was.
Because even though I had kids, I would ask you if you had kids. I
mean, of course you did, but the way in which your tone and the projection of your voice, it was like, oh, okay.
I had a scare. It wasn't even a pregnancy scare. It was actually like the baby was born and the timelines lined up with the chick who I was with prior to you. And it was only like a year or two before me and you met, I think. And then like when the baby was like 7 months old, we just kept saying, the girl didn't try to put the baby on me. She just was like, it's a possibility. And then I was like, when she told me the times, I was like, you're right, it's a real big possibility. So when a baby looked like a baby. So the baby had, of course, seemed like it had features like I had, and then a lot of people was just egging us on. They look like a baby. I think people wanted it to be my baby. And then like 7 months, I said, you know what? It was 6 or 7 months old. I had to fall in love with the baby. Had to start feeling like the baby was mine. I was like, you know what? I gotta know. I gotta know. So got the test done, and so I was crying and everything. I was like messed up behind that, but it actually freed me. It gave me a decision to make. And this is, like I said, this was before you. It gave me a decision to make. I was 21 years old. Am I gonna stay in this baby life? I love the baby at this point, or am I gonna, because me and her relationship wasn't the best. And so eventually I said, I'm gonna go ahead, and it was a hard decision, but I said, let me go and get out of here before this baby remember me, and I actually hold those memories. And you know what I'm saying, I felt like that was a responsible thing to do. I
would probably agree. I mean, especially if the relationship, I don't know, I kind of feel
I felt bad because weird. I did love the baby, and if I walk past, he a grown man now apparently, you know, because that was like a year after Jarian
would have been the same age.
Yeah, Jarian would have been a year older. And if he walked by me right now, he a grown man, he have no clue who I was unless his mama told me about him, which I have no idea. I ain't talked to them folks.
So this is our long-winded roundabout way of saying, hey, or I guess the topic is so how many kids you got, or how is it when you were conjoining families, or you?
Well, I think is how does going into a relationship with a person that have a kid already? How does that affect the relationship? That's a long ass title, but
we're gonna shorten that. But that's what we're talking about today.
And I told that story because this is why leading into me meeting you, I had just came out of a situation I came out of a lot of situations at that young age.
We was doing a lot of stuff for us to be kids. So that's why I be looking at these kids now, and they be talking about how hard life is and all that type of stuff. Like, we were so much more mature than today's generation.
We had to be.
I think that they're very much more innovative, but I feel like it is a result of our parents being, well, not mine personally, but like I had grandparents that were older, and they had morals and values and different things, that I'm saying, that they tried to instill in your life. And so we also got trusted with a lot of more stuff. I just remember being like 14, 15, catching a bus back and forth. No cell phone, no beeper, no way of communicating. I was just, I left the house and then they hoped I came back.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It was a hope and a prayer that you show up again. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So, like actually having to have a job. Like my mama was like, no, you need to work. You need to, you know what I'm saying? Like
I never got that.
You didn't?
My mama didn't want me to work, but I wanted my own stuff. She had me as far as like I got me clothes, she got me food, like that. But you know, when you're that age, you want to be able to have your own stuff, your own money. So, but she didn't want me to work. No, I worked against my mama's wishes. I had to have me my own money. You know what I'm saying?
And I can't even. No, my mama wanted. She wanted me to be responsible, and I'm thankful. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, looking back now, you know what I'm saying? Because I had to buy a lot of my own stuff. Like,
but you was in school still, right?
Like that. Who?
You was in school when that was happening.
Yeah, I was.
I want to say my mom wanted me to focus on school and not work. That was the most thing. You know what I'm saying?
I was like I said, I was able to manage both of them because I just have this thing that I need to thrive, I need to succeed. So I worked and that's what I'm saying. I would leave, get on the MARTA bus because I started going to school outside of our district at one point. I would leave, get on the MARTA bus, go to school all day, get back on the MARTA bus to the train to my job, and then get home at night and like not ever have any contact with my parents. It's crazy.
And kids these days, they don't even get that, man.
I
did the same thing. My first job, I actually walked to work, and then my second job, like you said, I got on that bus after school, went and caught the bus all the way to work, came back home late. I'm talking about doing homework on break at work. You know what I'm saying?
Like, it's crazy. So nonetheless, because we went off course, but you know, like getting into this relationship and me having a kid and him not, of course, you know what I'm saying, like I said, for me it was a big deal for me not to introduce. I needed to know who I was dealing with before that was something that's necessary.
It was a long time before you had him around me.
It was a very long time.
It was a while, and I remember one of our first dates, we all went out to eat, and he embarrassed the hell out of you by talking about me.
Yes, he counted.
I still want to snap him to this day. What did he do?
He counted the butt. We went to the Olive Garden, y'all, and we were sitting there eating, and he was like, "You got a lot of bumps on your face. Let me see how many." And he proceeded to count his bumps. And I just wanted to get under the table.
At that moment, I knew that this boy was an asshole. He was a jerk. He was. And he been that same jerk ever since then. He's not a bad person. He wasn't no bad kid. Honestly, I'm starting to realize Jarian arrogant, and he gonna say what's on his mind. To this day, he gonna say exactly. No filter. He ain't got no filter. But until this day, I thought Jarian was a handful, but this little girl, Charlotte.
Yeah.
Put both of us together and make a little girl. And she got certain sensibilities like Kiki, but she act almost like identical to me.
Yeah.
So,
but this is what I mean. Y'all got
eventually, I wanted to know if she had a kid. I wanted to know what I was going to have to be dealing with. But eventually, we had a kid together. What I will tell you about, I literally raised Jarian from being 4 years old all the way to 25 now.
And trust me, it was a struggle because we were both young and we had completely different ideas about what rendering a kid would be or entail. Like I was a boy.
Raising a man. We had very different ideas about it.
Exactly. Case in point being, like it was, and this is, I can look back and laugh at it now, but Jarian, I'm a big reader, as y'all know. I read, I write. For me, my kids need to read and write. Y'all need to be able to clearly articulate, you know what I'm saying? Like I believe in their voices being strong, which is another thing that I didn't realize until now. But I gave Jarian a voice because I was always shut down. You know what I'm saying? Like you stay in a child's place. You know what I'm saying? I was afraid.
You was very heavy-handed in that too. You gave him too much of a voice.
I didn't realize that until recently, but I gave him way too much of a voice. In addition to that, like I said, I didn't care what you read. You could read the back of a cereal box. It did not matter. But this one particular day, y'all, Jarian had a Barbie book. And Mike...
Which I don't even know how we can't even get that.
It was just because I just had books everywhere. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I just wanted him to read. You know what I'm saying? So
let's go.
He has this Barbie book. And Mike... What did you say?
So this is what it was. You was reading with him on the bed. And you had that Barbie book. And I was like, why is you... I don't think I said it while he was in there though.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I was like, why you got him reading a girl book? That's for girls. That's a Barbie book. And you was like, as long as he reading something, you said the same thing. Like, no. And I was being young, and I was a straight jerk. I would take this back if I could. The way I felt about it is still the way I feel about it today. But I ain't want a little boy reading a little Barbie doll book. I just, because everything is like confusion with these kids anyway. Let's just, teach them some values and keep it moving. But what I messed up and said when Kiki was like just going against me with that, and like I said, we weren't married, we was just getting into our relationship good, and I said, shit, he ain't my son, and I walked out the room. And boy, if I didn't know that you press certain buttons with Kiki, she gonna react very aggressively. If I didn't know up until that point, that's the first time I found out. I think that was our first kind of like little argument.
That was our first argument.
Yeah.
And when I tell y'all, I ripped into his ass like something awful.
But she didn't like. Now if I do something to make her mad, she'll go crazy on me. Like she'll be actually like you gonna. But she was crying because she was just like, I don't need nobody to make him feel that way or make me feel something that she was saying.
My thing is I felt very strongly that I was doing the right thing by helping my baby with his education.
But it's that comment I made more than anything.
It was the comment, because at the end of the day I was like, dude, I don't need you. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. Like Mike was never a liability, but you know what I'm saying, he was that comfort, he was that added. You know what I'm saying? For me, I was so used to doing things by myself and comfortable with doing it. Dude, you gonna walk out the door tomorrow because at the end of the day my baby gonna be here. She
let me know right then and there, like, if it come between you and my son, you can get up out of here.
Absolutely.
Which it should, as she should.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
So the funny part,
I just shouldn't. I should have. I was a kid, but I should have found a way to. You know, that's how you get in your feelings, and I'm telling you, if you want me around this boy, he need to be a man. You know what I'm saying? Type thing. And we went over the years. Like I said, I don't want to make this too long, but over the years, me and Kiki had a bunch of disagreements on how to discipline Jarian.
And so let me just set that up for you for just a second. So I came from a very abusive background, so I was very overprotected over my kid. Again, I also didn't have a voice. He needed to have one. Mike, on the other hand, he hadn't experienced what I had, but he also had the manly aspect of it. So I must admit, I sheltered him a lot. Mike would have a disagreement about something that I said or I did, and I'd be like, no, I'm not going for it, because I felt like I needed to protect him. He used to always tell me, you let him talk back too much. But I felt like I was just helping him and encouraging him to be able to, like I say, clearly articulate, have a voice.
Sometimes you gotta shut a kid's ass down because you are a kid and you need to stay in the child's place. Kiki, she struggled with that a lot.
And let me tell y'all, like, if you have kids, like, listen to what we're saying, because let me be clear. Having a 5, 6, 7-year-old say something, 8-year-old, 9, 10-year-old say something, and it's like maybe a little bit off kilter, but you understand what they're saying because they're trying to express themselves, as opposed to having a grown man talk to you a certain kind of way. Oh, it's a different feeling. Okay, it's a different feeling. Like I tell y'all all the time, that grooming is starting at the when you're a kid is where it actually matters. So
you don't have to be overly strict. You just, they need to know their place.
Right. I think my son has a mouthpiece. He's very confident in himself. He can be tad bit on the arrogant side as well, but he can communicate very well. So I'm thankful for that. But I definitely, looking back now, I should have listened. I should have stayed out in a woman's place and let him be. But in my mind at that time, sometimes I would always be like, he didn't have no kids in his home, and then he had his daddy in life. You know what I'm saying? So I always had this little, you know.
I had uncles and stuff like that, but most of all, I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like a man's supposed to do, the boy's supposed to do. I had a big brother that we used to go at it all the time, you know what I'm saying? So it was just certain stuff that I didn't know about raising a son. And it's like, I had made mistakes too, trust me. It was things that I did, ways that I came at him that I could have tried a whole lot different approach instead of just, you know, locking him down and stuff like that. But we figured it out.
We definitely did. The key to figuring it out is I actually had to hear what Mike was saying instead of always approaching the situation with so much aggression and trying to protect him. I realized that I was doing him a disservice. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I didn't know. I never wanted my kids to grow up and have to heal from their upbringing. I just did not want.
She didn't want them to have trauma. She didn't want them to feel shut down all the time and not have, like, their voice don't matter. But
exactly.
All I was trying to relay is in certain situations, a kid has to stay in a child's place because they'll grow up and Jarian got a lot of ways about himself that
he's struggling now as an adult because of what we did or did not do. So it's not like he can't look back and be like, oh, I was abused and I didn't have clothes or food. He'll never be able to tell those stories. But that sheltering him, and now that he's actually having to be exposed to life on his own, I'm seeing it now. The spoiledness, you know what I'm saying? Like those different things, and then just even some issues that he has with you personally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to get into real quick. And we always go on long, but me being not his biological father, me being a stepdad, when you told me certain stuff, you ain't gonna do this to him, you ain't gonna say this to him, I had to accept it because I wasn't his biological father. So it was certain stuff I was like, I'm not even gonna fight you on that. Certain stuff I did because I was like, damn, if I'm gonna raise him, I gotta be able to have some kind of say so. But certain stuff I was just like, you know what? And there was a lot of stuff. A lot of times I feel like it was just you and him against me in the house because I was just like, bro, like I'm trying to instill certain stuff, but they just you're not letting me do it. And he every time. To this day, Jarian does this.
He'll try to use it against us.
To this day, Jarian he don't hit me up that much. To this day, if he needs something, he gonna call her because he know I'm gonna be like, what you need it for.
But in all fairness, both our kids do that. Like,
Harley does it too. But
going to tell, I gotta tell you something off camera about Harley right now, and this is why I mean Mike can be so. No, it's not that bad, but he can be so rigid sometimes. Like he that daddy. Like he just why you need it. What have you did to try to accomplish it first? Blah blah blah.
Did you try to help yourself first?
And it's the right thing in some situations.
I'm more of the cut and dry. This is what you're gonna do. This is what needs to be done. A little bit more militant when it comes to that because I didn't have that structure in my life. And I suffered from not having that structure, so I'm trying to apply that structure.
Right. So they all.
And Harley is way different than Jarian too because, oh my God, this little girl. But anyway,
they always call me because I will ask those questions, but I'm also gonna be a tad bit more understanding. Because Mike, you can explain all that to Mike, and he'll still say no.
Yeah.
And I'll be like,
no. Hey. I feel like you can figure it out.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. In situations where I be struggling, like panicking, like, oh gosh, this is not gonna work. It'll actually work out because sometimes, and what I've learned from that is sometimes when you tell a person no, they'll figure something else out. You know what I'm saying? And so that has been helping lately. So as y'all see, we are still learning and growing as we continue because we had Jarian for 16, almost 17 years, and then boom, we got a whole nother kid who's also a female kid.
Very different.
Who's a miracle child because we weren't supposed to have. I wasn't supposed to be able to have any kids anymore, and she pops out of the blue, and so now you like. Trying to me again handling her with baby hands because I'm like, oh gosh, I was blessed with this little precious thing, and then also having to deal with somebody who has a personality just like Harley is Mike in girl form
2.0.
And I here's the problem, y'all.
And I
don't want to have to be punished with him. Like I don't like this.
I even admit it. She's silly like me.
She don't take that seriously.
Don't take nothing. Everything a joke. Kiki used to get on me all the time when we first met about me not taking nothing. I used to joke about everything. That was a part of the reason the attraction that we had because I was that levity and Kiki was that intense individual. You know what I'm saying? But Harley is just like me, and she just like can't take nothing seriously. You be getting on her about homework, and I'm saying I'm being punished too because I'm like this, and I be getting on her about certain stuff. Harley, do this, and she be making a joke, and she'll start going. She'll take a bite of food and go do a whole ballerina dance, and you be like, Harley, sit your ass down somewhere.
And so it's so funny to be able to see him in himself because he be so frustrated. But I be thinking to myself, this is who you are.
And she be doing pranks on me. She be jumping out, scaring the hell out of me, and I'll be like. Bruh.
But he, as a grown man, can still be very as much silly, even right now. So it's like I say, it's chaos. But we got to wrap this up. The point of the conversation is having or transitioning and pooling families. I don't know the best way. Like I said, having a relationship with somebody who already has an already made family. I'm thankful I only had one kid. I'm thankful that he didn't have any. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what that would have looked like if it had been different.
Baby mamas tend to be I don't know. Baby daddies can be bad too.
And I'm proud to say you ain't really you and him done went through some stuff. We'll have to make
our back and forth.
And I had some issues, but not to that. Like to this day, my baby daddy will call Mike and be like, "Hey, I want these shoes," and Mike will pick them up for him. You know what I'm saying? Exactly, and we got to a place where it's like at the end of the day, the most important person in this whole situation is the kid. So our issues ain't got nothing to do with that. Yeah. So it wasn't tragic like a lot of times people actually go through. Because I literally I ain't do no child support. I don't have to deal with that. The fact that you didn't put that man on child support, like a lot of women, majority of females, just because the fact a lot of stuff earlier, and he trying to make up for it now, but earlier he didn't really do nothing. He wasn't around, no money, nothing like that. So the fact that you didn't put him on child support, I mean that was to me. If it's a way around it, I'm not arguing with you about stuff.
I never asked you to, I never told you to do it.
No, I mean, we moved on with our lives and we did what we were supposed to do.
We always had what we needed. So.
I guess a couple of key points because this conversation has been everywhere. I hope that y'all got what we were saying, but definitely to me, and I always give this advice, if you're starting a family, I think you have to take time to really get to know the person that you with before you start introducing family because you might just waste your time. You know what I'm saying? As I dated before I met Mike, I met a couple of people who was clear. My baby can't be around him. Or they were clear about, I ain't really trying to, you know what I'm saying, raise nobody else's kids or whatever. Exactly. So you just need to navigate. I always get a lot of anxiety when I meet women or I have friends that they just met and then next thing you know, they with their kids. I be like, you know what I'm saying, to each his own. But if I'm giving a tip, I'm saying, don't rush into it. Get to know the person first.
I would give that same thing. And if before you make a decision to be with that person who got a kid, you have to accept their child fully hearted. Like that kid has to be somebody who you look at as family as well, because it is a part of the person that you was trying to start this relationship with. If you're not willing to be there for that kid 100%, like it's your own child, do not proceed with that relationship at all.
Absolutely. And I think that's only fair, because to me, I feel like if you have a partner, man, or because sometimes you meet single parents who are men, you know what I'm saying, and if there's any rejection, anything or whatever, or any idea that this kid is going to be brushed on or pushed to the back burner, or they're not going to be loved and cared for the way you need to, that is not the situation you need to be. Like, I would never be able to understand anybody choosing their partner over their children. Now, with that being said, they do get older and they do their own things, but you have to be able to be that safety for your children. So sometimes you have to put your love life on the back burner until you can get over the hurdles or what have you. The other thing I will say is, if you're going to bring somebody into your life, you need to be able to make sure that you trust them to be the best person and partner for your children. Meaning, not only just love them, but I needed to be able to trust Mike's direction, and that was some place that I wasn't ready to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just needed to protect my kids. That's all I saw. But he was coming from a good place, and he had experience that I didn't have, and experience that I would never have as a woman. You know what I'm saying? So if I can take anything back, I probably would have started listening a little bit sooner. So anyways, hopefully we said something here today that you can resonate with, that you could actually agree to, and then give us, like I said, again, feedback. Talk to us. Tell us what you want to know, as well as some of your experiences, and we'll definitely respond in the comments below.
For sure. That's all we got. Episode 2 in the books. We almost got to 30 minutes because Kiki don't know how to stop running her mouth.
Whatever. It's not just me. But what we're going to do is, I got to prove to us that we can do this, and then we'll start making investments into the other stuff. I saw some of your comments about making an intro or outro. That's simple, but as far as like the setup and the cameras and all that type of stuff, we're gonna get there, but we got to make sure that we're gonna actually show up.
This is only episode 2. We'll get it in. So
absolutely.
Appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and that's it, man.
All right. See y'all later.